Nikki Haley has been at the center of many attacks the last several times Republicans debated this primary season, as she's fended off many of those criticisms, both personally and politically, while climbing steadily in the polls. Donald Trump still remains far and away the frontrunner for the Republican nomination, but Haley is quickly becoming the candidate of choice for anti-Trump Republicans. But who is Nikki Haley, the person? I got a chance to sit down with the former South Carolina governor and UN ambassador to learn just that for our series, Who Is?
Were you conscious as a child and as a young man that you came from a life of privilege?
So did you think to yourself, Barack, what kind of hubris is this? Being president. And they said, be a man.
Yeah, they said, be a man. They said, we're not accepting girls.
You're a Mormon kid. No drinking, no smoking.
Growing up as a child, what did you think you wanted to be? In a few words, who is Nikki Haley?
You know, I'm a mom. I'm a military spouse. I'm the daughter of legal immigrants. I'm an accountant. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. I happen to be a two-term governor, and I happen to be a UN ambassador, and I happen to be running for president. I promise you, our best days are yet to come. Thank you very much. God bless you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm someone who loves our country, and I don't want my kids to grow up like this. I know our country can do better. And that's why I'm moving forward and trying to right this ship.
So growing up in Bamberg, South Carolina, only 2 stoplights in the whole
Two stoplights, 2,500 people. You couldn't think about doing something wrong without somebody already telling your mom.
The only Indian-American family there. What was that childhood like?
It was tough. It was tough. They didn't know who we were, what we were, or why we were there. And I remember when I would get teased on the playground, and I would come home, my mom would always say, your job is not to show them how you're different. Your job is to show them how you're similar. And it's amazing how that lesson on the playground has played out throughout my life. If you first talk about the things you have in common, people let their guard down. And that's how you can get towards a solution.
You've talked about being in the 3rd grade and the teams being lined up by black kids on this side, white kids on this side, how for your parents to even rent their home, they had to promise they weren't going to entertain black people. There was a roadside fruit vendor where you said that your dad experienced some racism. How did that discrimination ultimately shape who you are today?
It made me really understand people's pain. You know, I've always believed you have to understand what someone else is going through to be able to get to the place that you want to go. We had that terrible tragedy at Mother Emanuel Church. Confederate flag, very personal issue for the people of South Carolina. You had half the people of South Carolina see it as heritage and tradition. You had the other half see the Confederate flag as slavery and hate. My job wasn't to judge either side. My job was to get them to see the best of themselves and a way forward. We were able to bring that Confederate flag down, but we didn't have riots. We had vigils. We didn't have protests. We had hugs. And while the rest of the country was on fire, we showed the world what strength and grace look like. That's what we have to bring back to America. It's okay if we have differences, but let's figure out how we can be respectful and go back to our national purpose and what has made America great in the first place.
I want to go back to your college days, went to Clemson, you meet Michael there. What first attracted you to him, and describe your first date?
You know, we met my very first weekend at Clemson. His roommate lived in the small town that I did, and so on the weekend we met up together, and literally the second we saw each other, it was just a connection, and I felt so comfortable with him, and we had so much fun together, and we laughed, and we dated for 7 years. We've now been married for 26. We grew up together. I was 17, he was 19. He's the first boyfriend I've had, and you know, it's special. And we were at Clemson. We got engaged at Clemson. Our daughter ended up going to Clemson. She got engaged at Clemson. You know, it's just been a great life with him. I'm very proud of him. It's, you know, always tough, the fact that he's deployed, but we're so proud of him as a family, and appreciate his service to our country.
I read that you had heard Hillary Clinton speak, and that inspired you to run. Politics aside, would you consider her to be a role model?
When I went to Furman University, I don't know that I have anything in common with Hillary Clinton from a policy aspect. But on that stage, she said, for every reason they tell you you can't do something, that's the reason you should do it. And I walked out of there and said, I'm running for office.
Just in a matter of 12 years, you went from accountant to governor to UN ambassador, at the same time being a mom, the same time managing to have Haley Family Fun Nights on Fridays.
It's always been family first. I've always said, if I'm a good mom and a good wife, I'll be a good governor. I remember the days when the kids were young. If I forgot to sign, some sort of slip, or if I forgot to put a snack in their bag, I felt it all day. I felt it all day. So I've always focused on the first thing in the morning. I send them, the kids and Michael, a message, tell them I love them, to have a great day. I stay in touch with them throughout that. I think you have to be a mom and a wife first. And if you know your family is okay, there's nothing you can't do. And then prioritizing. When I was governor, we had dinner as a family together 5 out of 7 nights a week. We had Haley Family Fun Night every Friday night. Sundays were our days that we shared together. Those things are important, not for them, but for me. I needed to feel that, because I think at the end of the day, politics, it doesn't consume me. It never has. Politics is a part of my life, but there's a lot more. There's faith, there's family, but yes, there's country, and so it's all of those.
You were the first Indian American governor, would be the first Indian American president. Is there a weight to that?
There's not a weight to that, because I think that what's important is finding the right person to be president. It's not about being the first woman or the first minority. Those are things, it's good to get out of the way because people stop talking about it. But it's really more important that Americans feel that they can trust this person and that they have a relationship with them and that they know that they're fighting for them. I think that matters more than anything else, especially now with a country in disarray and a world on fire. People are nervous. They're tired. They want to feel safe again. And that's, I think, the mom in me that wants to go and put my arms around them and say, we're going to be okay, but we've got some work to do, and this is how we're going to get there. And at the end of it, we're going to show everybody that they can be strong and proud again in America.
Greatest strength?
My courage.
Greatest weakness?
Not that I don't have a lot of them, but I would say my emotion. I feel, when someone hurts, I feel their pain. When someone fights, I feel that fight. The emotional side is I'm very emotionally connected to people that I'm trying to help.
Biggest misconception about you?
That I am too motivated. They always love to say, oh, she's motivated, she's ambitious. That's always been, she's ambitious. What I've been is I've been blessed. I focus on doing my job today, and God has opened doors. And when God opens those doors, I've had the courage to walk through those doors. But at the end of the day, for them to think it's calculated, it's not calculated. It's me, walking by faith.
The road not taken for Nikki Haley?
I've always pushed through that fear. I've always taken every road, because the one thing I tell everyone is when you push through the fear, you find out how strong you are. If you don't push through the fear, you never know what could have been.
Our thanks to Nikki Haley for that conversation.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.